Hey guys, thanks for watching On Point Hair Academy's YouTube channel. In today's video, I just wanted to walk you through the steps I take to creating my client's desired layered look. I always ask them for an inspiration photo, and in this instance, she has shared with me two photos. And what I'm seeing in these photos is that it's longer on top with a lot more layers along the exterior of the hair. Once I've looked at her picture, just like I do with all the clients, then I talk to them about it, and I look at their hair and talk to them about how much styling they're going to do with this, how much it's going to take, and decide on how we're going to make this picture work for them. And in this instance, my client didn't want to lose a whole lot of length. She wanted the layers that this style has, but she wanted to make sure her face frame was kept long enough that she could tuck it behind her ear and pull it back into a ponytail without the front falling out. So once we've had our consultation, now I start into the haircut. Now with most, probably 75% of my haircuts, I always start out by establishing the exterior perimeter length. I like to do that just so that I always know where I'm headed. Even in this situation, all I'm doing, as you can see, I'm just cleaning up the ends. It's been a while since she's had a haircut, so I'm just cleaning up all the broken ends and giving her more of a solid perimeter. Now, a little tip here that you're seeing me do is, because her length is longer and below her shoulders, and I wanted to maintain some thickness, I did turn her head to the side. It just gives me a flatter surface so that the hair is not traveling over her shoulders. So when you pull that hair over the shoulder, it's elevating it, and it'll cause it to be a lot wispier on the ends. So as I stated in the first part of this video, that upon our consultation, she had shared with me that she wanted to make sure that her front face frame was long enough that she could pull it back into her ponytail. So we've decided to keep that length, the shortest length, right at her chin. So I'm just taking the length from her chin, and because I've established her length in the perimeter, I know where I'm headed. That's another reason why I start out doing haircuts by establishing the length in the perimeter. So I'm not guessing. So I'm able to cut that fringe starting at the jawline, and I know exactly where I'm headed. One of the ways I'm cutting, you're kind of noticing, is that I'm walking my shears and not sliding it. If she wanted more of a wispier, piecey face frame, I'd probably slide cut it. But because she doesn't want that, I'm just kind of opening and closing my shears and walking my shears down. And basically what I'm doing is creating a outline, kind of a dot to dot from the length I've established at the start of her face frame down to the perimeter. And then once I've established that, then you'll notice I'll go back through and just kind of connect it, going in a little bit backwards, and like right here, I'm just taking off and blending the little hairs that I missed as I was walking. It's just kind of a nice way to cut a face frame on your longer haired clients. It helps keep you from cutting off that corner around the face. Now that we've established our desired length and the face frame that we want, the shape we want around the face, now it's time to create the layers. And because in her inspiration photos, I could see that most of the layering was in the exterior of the hair. And when I talk about that, what I mean by that is that the layers are sitting below her parietal ridge, which is the widest part of her head, on the side of her head. So when I'm cutting her layers, I'm pulling them straight up on her head, and almost like I'm cutting a square. So I'm cutting it straight horizontal. My fingers are parallel to the floor when I'm cutting the top. And then when I go into the sides and I start cutting the layers on the sides, you will see that I pull it straight out from the head where my fingers are parallel to the walls, leaving the corners. It's almost the same way if you were cutting a men's haircut. You can see it right here. I'm pulling it straight out from the head and point cutting it off. And I'm just taking it up to the last section that I created on the top. You can see it a little bit better here. I'm pulling it straight out from the head and point cutting it off. Now, because I've established the length in the perimeter and the length in the top of the head, there is no guessing on cutting. I'm literally pulling it straight out from the head. My body is in front of my section. My fingers are parallel to the wall. And I'm just cutting from the length that I created in the exterior or the perimeter of the hair. And I'm cutting to the last section that I created on the top of her head. Now, backing up to the inspiration photo, it's so important as a hairstylist to learn to train your eye to see all the geometric shape that each picture has, where the layers are sitting, how much movement is in that haircut. And when I was looking at her inspiration photo, I could see that the top did not have a lot of volume, but it had a lot of movement down toward the exterior of the haircut. So when you're looking at those pictures that your clients are showing you, don't just look at it just to get the idea of what they're wanting. You need to look at it in a hairstylist's point of view. You need to look at it to look at what techniques do I need to use to create this look. At On Point Hair Academy, we believe there's only 3 ways to cut hair, and that is one length, graduation, and layers. And once you understand that and understand how to cut each technique, then you can create any haircut your client asks you for. But not only understanding how to do the techniques, is understanding how to see them in the pictures that your clients are asking you for. So you've got to learn to train your eye. I apologize for you seeing the back of my head here. I am a one-man show. I work by myself behind the chair. I've been doing hair now for about, 40 years this year. It was in June. I don't work with assistants any longer. And I've gotten a lot of positive response from my videos that I post. And it's just my heart's desire to give back to this wonderful industry. And I know that as a hairstylist, for me, one of the biggest inspirations that helped me grow as a hairstylist and kept me wanting to keep growing is from watching and learning from the stylists around me. And now so many of you hairstylists now work by yourself in a salon studio and don't get that inspiration. So I just propped my phone up on a stand next to me and started doing these videos, and I had a great response. And so I hope that you're enjoying them. And if you are, show me some love below by liking and also commenting. Let me know what haircuts you'd love for me to do. And also subscribe. That way you'll know when I post another video. So here I am at the fine-tuning stage. That, to me, this stage is the most important stage of the haircut that makes it unique and yours and personalizes it for your client. When her hair is dry, I can see that I need to break it up a bit more in the exterior. So I'm just taking the hair in between my fingers and just going straight in with my shears and just point cutting it off. And then as I'm going, I'm looking at it and seeing how if it's separating and loosening up the style. The hair lives very differently from wet to dry, and when I'm cutting it wet, I'm working in a disciplined manner and creating the geometric shape of my haircut. I put in that foundation. When you put in a good foundation in your haircut, those haircuts are going to last a lot longer for your clients, and they're going to style easier. And the fine tuning part that I'm doing here, it makes that theirs. Your clients will notice this on the way their hair styles, and it also sets you apart as a professional. Your clients, they'll notice the difference, trust me. So taking that time after it's dry, don't just take that cape off. Take the time, look at it, and fine tune it. Make it more suitable for them. Now the shears that I'm using throughout this haircut are by Shark Fin Shears. I love their shears. They have a lifetime warranty on them, and with each purchase of shears that you purchase, you will receive 2 texturizing shears and a razor. So be sure to go over to Shark Fin Shears, and if you use the OP code, you can get that discount. Anyway, thank you for watching, and happy haircutting.